Professor Allan Lichtman has accurately predicted 9 of the last 10 presidential elections using a matrix of considerations that he calls the 13 keys. He is not a fan of polls, and he says, Cuomo, be careful about running with this story that Biden needs to drop out. Why? Let's ask him. Professor Lichtman joins us now. Why don't I care about the polls, Mr. American University professor Allan Lichtman? And why are you not impressed by calls that Biden's got to drop?
Number one, polls are snapshots, not predictors. They are abused as predictors. Remember, the polls told us that Hillary Clinton would surely win. The eminent Princeton University consortium, headed by the great Professor Sam Wang, based on polls, said 99% chance Hillary Clinton was going to win. He said he'd eat a bug on national television if he was wrong, and he did. So I have an alternative to the polls, which is predictive. I would say 10 of 10, because 2000 was a stolen election. Al Gore should have won going away, as I proved in my report to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, which is still up on their website. But leave that alone. As the candidate on my system of 13 keys, it takes 6 negative keys to count out the White House party. Biden checks off incumbency. He checks off party contests. He's uncontested. He drops out. They lose the incumbency. They lose the contest key because there's obviously no consensus replacement. So instead of being up 2 keys and having 6 more keys to fall to predict the Democrats' defeat, they're down 2 keys and only need 4 more keys to fall. But forget the keys for a moment. Chris, how many times in 120 plus years since the turn of the 20th century has the party holding the White House won when there's an open seat, no incumbent running, and an uncertain or contested nomination? The answer is 0. So all of these critics with no track record whatsoever of predicting any elections are now telling us they can predict what the Democrats have to do to win, even though they're recreating the 2016 situation with an open seat for the Democrats and a contested nomination.
All right, so now you're not in the staff room with another bunch of geniuses, okay? You're hanging out at a 4th of July barbecue, and somebody comes up to you and says, you know, Lichtman, I get the keys, they're smart, but Biden can't think on his feet. He's losing support every time they measure it. His own party is coming after him. It seems like he's the only guy who can't beat Trump. Why shouldn't they upgrade when their own numbers seem, in the preference polls, shows that everybody does better than Biden?
Well, that's not true. Depending on what poll you look at, none of these candidates are doing very well against Trump. But again, these polls are absolutely meaningless, 4 months plus out from an election. In June of 1988, George H.W. Bush was trailing Mike Dukakis by 17 points. All the same pundits wrote him off. All the same pundits wrote off Donald Trump after the Access Hollywood tape, saying he's finished, he's done. You have the same pundits now based on one debate as opposed to 3.5 years of a presidency writing off Joe Biden. He just made 2 strenuous, successful trips abroad. He delivered one of the best State of the Union addresses in modern history, including a lot of thinking on his feet and a lot of ad lib. Are you going to reject all of that because of one 90-minute performance? And none of you are physicians or neurologists.
Yes, I'll tell you why. I'm not saying I'm a neurologist. I can't even spell it. What I'm saying is that's who he is, who we saw at the debate. It wasn't a bad night.
You don't know that.
It's not because, oh, yes, I do. I know him. I know him. I know him.
You don't know. Is that who he is, or is
what do you mean I don't know? I just told you I know.
How do you know one is who he is?
State of the Union is reading a prepared address, which he did okay. You say it's one of the best ever. I don't know that it's one of the best ever. You say that. But I'm telling you, on his feet, this is the way he is. Every time he has to think quickly on his feet, he goes into, a phase change. I think that's who he is. I don't think it was a bad night.
He was thinking on his feet in the State of the Union, responding to a lot of what the crowd was doing, going off teleprompter. But again, judge him by his presidency and consider the alternative.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.